Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Nick Fry, and I'm the Manager of Business Development with Tourism Nova Scotia. This webinar today is Email Marketing Best Practices to Boost Your Business. So I'm really excited that you could join us today and excited for the presentation from Playground. So the way these webinars work is that the questions are put in the bottom in the Q&A. So throughout, if you have any questions, we would really encourage you to ask those. Any question makes the discussion so much better, so please do that. If throughout the webinar there's any links or resources that we or Playground talks about, we will share those after the fact, so you don't need to check them out during the webinar. And this webinar will be made available tomorrow, and it's also available online with the rest of our webinars that happened before. So if you really like it and want to share it with a colleague, you want to go back and review it for any information that you may have missed or want to review again, if there's any other webinars that you see that are interesting, you can go check there. We're scheduled for about an hour, and if we go over, that's okay. If you have to leave, again, it's recorded, so you can come back and check it out. So I really hope that you joined us today through Digiport, and Digiport is a partnership with Digital Nova Scotia, and it offers a one-stop shop of interactive services and educational opportunities that help tourism businesses like yours. It's the only one available of its kind in Canada. It offers access to skilled professional advice. There's tip sheets, there's webinars, and I'd really encourage you to sign up for Digiport if you haven't done so. The links on the screen will also be coming out after the fact. If you have any questions on it, please don't hesitate to check in with us. So really excited to have Mariia Souchko from Playground Creative Agency today. We've had Mariia on before in the webinars and does such an excellent job and has such a deep knowledge. Mariia's bilingual marketing project expert and one of the owners of Playground Creative, master's in international commerce and a master's in marketing. She's accumulated over 15 years in marketing development and has built her career in a variety of roles and industries throughout Canada, France, Switzerland, and has really a lot of expertise working with all different sizes of business, which comes in handy. Specializes in business management processes, strategic marketing, business development, operational management, custom relationship management, and really knows how to operate and thrive in competitive markets. Mariia and Playground Creative also worked on the videos that you'll find on Digiport. They're an excellent overview of all sorts of different digital marketing tactics and website improvement, all sorts of relevant topics that can help you bridge the digital gap your company may have. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mariia onto the screen, take over. I'm really looking forward to your presentation, Mariia.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm gonna just share my screen with you. So hello, welcome. I'm happy to have you for this webinar. It's a very nice weather outside. We are almost done with June, so it means that July is coming and it's a vacation time. So I hope all of you will have a great season of summer 2023, and you will be able to double or triple your revenue. So today I will be your guide to the journey of email marketing, even though for some of you it might be a very boring journey or a boring tool, but I will try to prove and to show you that it might be a very interesting one, an exciting one, and one of the most important, that might be a tool that can help you to grow your business. So what are we going to cover today? So the importance of email marketing, why we're still talking about it, even though it's such an old, and for some of you thinking that it's an outdated tool, how we build a high quality email list. So what we call the subscribers, what are the email marketing regulations, because it's very important to adhere to this regulation, how to provide a captivating content so subscribers will open your emails. I will give you also some rules, very simple rules to follow, and I will give you some content ideas. I actually spent last week to tailoring a couple of ideas for each type of industry in tourism, and how we do analyze our newsletters. So what is a click performance, what are good performance metrics to follow to, and what are the rules to improve these metrics. So let's start. So why actually email marketing is still relevant, and particularly it might be relevant in tourism businesses. So the first thing that I might tell you that it's suitable for any type of business. So it's really any industry, any area of operation, they can go to email marketing. Like there's no limitation at all. It's a loyalty channel that has managed to outshine all other loyalty channels such as social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. So even though we have all these new tools appearing almost every year, email marketing has been here for almost 20 years already. It brings a very powerful and important return on investment, and I will go back to this point a little bit later. And it's also powerful as you can generate campaigns with the various content. So in one email campaign or newsletter, whatever you call it, you can include images, videos, chats, like any kind of text, the buttons, etc., etc. Whereas we know that Facebook posting, Instagram posting, any kind of other platforms, they all have the limitation of how much content you can input in one post or etc. Probably most interesting thing for you is, according to one of the tools, the constant tools, they say that average return on investment is $36 for every dollar spent. And if you have a targeted emails, or if you segmented the list of your subscribers, it can even drive 36% more of your email marketing return on investment. And I will talk about how you can segment your list and how you can target your subscribers. So email marketing is really a loyalty tool. I really want you to keep that in mind during my presentation and when you will be working on your email marketing strategy and creating your emails. It's not an acquisition channel, it's really a loyalty tool. So there's some rules to follow, but think about it really strongly. It's not here to attract new clients, it's really here to work out around your existing clients or your potential prospects. Like I said, it's not a recruitment tool. We do not use it to get new customers. We use it to activate existing customers and retain them. And again, I will explain a little bit later in my presentation what does it mean. So there's a couple of advantages of email marketing. And first of them, it's really the direct communication. Why? Because it allows you to build what we call a loyal audience. That audience that will really belongs to you and that will be your audience. It's not about audience on the Facebook ads where you create your audience. Now, it's really a list of your subscribers. So what it gives you the loyal audience. Now, you have a really direct contact with your audience. So it means that your messages is not going to get lost in the noise, like when people are scrolling and not seeing it because they probably connect themselves to the social media only once a day, and it's going to land to their email box for sure if you respect all the regulation and it's not going to spam, and it creates a more personal and direct line of communication. Also, the clients or the prospects or your potential leads, they can reply to you directly. So this is what I'm saying. It opens a direct communication line with them. It creates an audience that belongs to you, not to a third party, not to Facebook, not to Instagram, not to TikTok. You control the algorithm. So it means that you can see right away who opens your email, who clicks where, etc., etc. And also by saying you control the algorithm, you can make the actions behind for the next email campaign based on the metrics from your previous one. And you can kind of create your own decisions and your own algorithm on to whom you're going to send, what are you going to send, etc., etc. Like you're not depending on some developers in Facebook and Instagram that are going to spread your message the way they want it. And it gives you the live statistics. For me, which is very important, it's every time we send a campaign with my clients, we can probably within 2-3 hours see right away who opens what links marks, what kind of links works best, etc., etc., etc. So we can kind of see what happens right away. So I will stay a little bit longer with the audience because I think it's very important. When I'm saying that you're creating your own audience, it means that social media, you don't own your followers on these platforms, even though you have a really good followers or live statistics. Please remember, it's not your followers. This audience belongs to Facebook and the Meta business practically, and they're going to decide, even with your own audience, how they're going to get your message out, how they're going to do the ads, etc., etc. Also, you have all these risks of these platforms being shut, of your accounts being hacked, of the algorithms that will be crashing or will crash, or changes. I do recall like 1.5 years with Facebook with some changes in algorithm. Everybody was panicking because it wasn't performing the way it performed before. Or you can simply have a loss of reach for network. We do know that there's some networks that appeared here and then disappeared, and the people who worked hardly on this network, they lost all the reach of their followers. Whereas if you're building your own audience with your subscribers list, it means that you will have an audience that doesn't belong or depend on a third party, again, the social media. Even if the system crashes, you always own your list. No, it means that whatever software you're going to use, you always have your email addresses, and it's a good idea to back them up once a month or just like export them in Excel file or whatever, but you have these email addresses with you. And it might even improve your company's value for investments or sale. One of the examples, there was a digital magazine in the United States about 10 years ago, and they were just practically getting any articles about business, economy, digital work, etc., etc. And their target market was the students or the freshly graduated students that coming into the world of work. So what they did, they didn't have all the social media, but they also built an extremely big list of subscribers. And I'm just going to try to find the numbers. And I think they built a list of almost, I found this. So they had 2.5 million of subscribers. So their email list was 2.5 million email addresses. And it allowed them to sell their platform for $75 million. So you see, that might increase the value of your company or of your businesses if one day you decide to sell it. So why also the mailing list has a higher value for you? It's because signing up for email updates is a less impulsive act than following or liking any social account, right? So it's more spontaneous. We do that right away, and then we might forget, or we don't even see the updates from this account, and like we don't even follow really that. Why it's more impulsive and more thoughtful process? Because it involves a couple of the steps for the subscribers. The first one, it's probably visit the website. So there is some interest already in your company or in your services or what this type of area of business doing, etc. They have to enter their email. Sometimes they need to fill on other fields of the form, and I will talk about it, but enter like, I don't know, their postal code or their preference and whatever. Sometimes they need to check the confirmation mail, etc., etc. So if people, we're all busy today, if people are going through these steps, it means that they're more involved than just liking your account on Instagram or Facebook. So we talked about audience and direct contact. One of the other advantages is that your email campaigns, they can be highly targeted. It means that if you segment your audience you are able to send a really highly target messages. So it means that you can target your subscribers by location, by their age, by their interest, etc., etc. So it really depends on what are you looking for, what kind of services or products or tours you are selling. But while they're subscribing to your email list, you can just add another form, another field in the form like your age, and you will be able to make a triage for your subscribers and send really separate email campaigns to different niche markets. It's also very great for retention. You are building the customer loyalty. As I said again, it's a loyalty channel. It's not an acquisition channel. You encourage repeat businesses. So I think especially it's important for tourist businesses that operates in Nova Scotia. We know that we're all waiting for the tourists, but don't forget about the locals that might use your services or go on your tours or rent your equipment several times during the year. And this is where it helps you. It's encourage repeat business and keep your business on top of the mind for sure. We know the rules. Some of the sources say that you have to appear 5 times in people's mind before they're going to decide to buy from you. Some say 10 times, but again, people need to know about you. People need to be reminded about you, so they will buy with you. And as we said, it's a very cost-effective solution because it has a great return on investment. I will talk about a couple of the platforms that I'm suggesting to my clients, but you will see that they're not very expensive if we compare somebody who is investing heavily in Facebook or in email marketing, like subscription for American marketing, like they're not crazy. Especially if you already have a list of subscribers or clients that you can integrate in your platform, your return on investment will even be quickly. And if you don't have it, be patient because the subscribers list, if you have a really good content and if you send a really good and well designed email addresses, it tends to grow organically pretty quickly. Just need to be patient a little bit. So, as I said, it's cheaper than acquisition channels. It tends to grow organically pretty quickly, and it helps your customers to get to know you better because you're able to share some expert advices, talk more about your business, and it's a stable channel comparing to Google Ads, search engine optimization, social media, etc. So, right now that I did this perfectly outlined advertising campaign for email marketing, you might ask yourself, so should I only use email marketing? Why would I lose my time or waste my time in doing all of this? Because I can just use the email. It's so perfect. No, I would say that it's reducing your risk. What I also consider is always have at least one acquisition channel. So it can be Google search, Google Ads, search engine optimization, social media, and add it to it a loyalty channel, which is email marketing. So what does it mean? For example, if you have a lot of followers on your Facebook account and you want to start email marketing, so you can always have a post where you're going to ask them to sign up for your email list. And here you will start dragging them a little bit more into your email list subscribers. So you will have two positions, like you will have them as followers on your Instagram or Facebook account, and you will have their email address, which is really something that gives you the possibility to send them the offers or some expert advice, etc., etc. So if you don't have enough time to invest in your marketing, think about having at least one acquisition channel, and you can back it up by your loyalty channel, which is email marketing. So let's dive in email marketing itself. So there's a couple of types of email campaigns. So here's transactional emails, what we call it. A little bit for those who knows a little bit about search engine optimization and the keyword. We also have like informational, transactional, etc. So this is probably not the same, but a similar definition. So you have a transactional email. So where we do some transactions. So in most of cases, it's automated real-time emails that are sent to individuals based on some actions or transactions. So it might be an order confirmation, a receipt, account creation confirmation, password reset, etc., etc. These type of emails have a very high open rate. It's normal because people are looking for some information into it. So you can still use it to promote other products or services for upcoming deals. For example, it's not a tourist business, but I have a client, it's a nonprofit for immigrants. So when they create an account on their website, we always send them a welcome email saying, you need to confirm your email address and welcome to this platform. Don't forget that here you can subscribe to our webinars, events, have access to resource library, etc., etc. So we're still using this possibility to promote all other services of the organization because we know that people are going to open this email because they need to confirm their email address. The next one is informational emails. So it's more to communicate important information, updates, announcements to your subscribers. It can be, I don't know, you put a new tour, or you have, I don't know, you redecorated the room on your hotels, or you open a pool, etc., etc. Like I said, it can be newsletter, a new blog post announcement, updates on changes to services. So really the purpose of informational emails is to keep your subscribers updated about what is new and significant. Don't update them on everything you're doing. It should be really like an event itself, like it should be worth communicating, right? And that helps maintain engagement and foster customer relationships. The next type is promotional. So we're not e-commerce companies, right? We're not selling every day something. So we try to use them less than informational, right? It's like probably social media strategy. We always tell to the clients, try to have only 20% of your content that is selling and 80% that is entertaining, engaging, and informational, etc., etc. It's probably the same rule for the email marketing. So promotional emails, it's marketing messages that really aim driving a purchase, a sign up, or the conversion. You want to convert, right? So it can be a sales announcement, a special deal, discount codes, new product launches, etc. Again, you can announce some special deals for your hotel, some codes for your tours, some new rental equipment that you're proposing to your clients, etc., etc. With this ones, always think about having a call to action that actually is going to send them to this new deal, hot deal, or new product to rent or to buy. For sure, the purpose of this one is really drive revenue and maintain customer interest in your offering. And there's an educational emails that useful information or teach an audience something valuable related to your product industry on other topics. Might be a how-to guide, tutorials, tips and tricks. It also helps really to build trust and loyalty and also position you as an expert. So the next time the people will be thinking about doing something in your area of business, they will think about you because they will be considering you as an expert. I presented you 4 types of emails. It doesn't mean that you have to have 4 of them. For sure, you can match and mix in your one campaign different types of campaigns. It really depends on your strategy, your objectives, and what are you looking to do. Just please be careful. Don't sell too much, oversell. I know that it's important. Myself, I'm a business owner. I know that revenue is important. But just think about all the emails people receiving from the e-commerce websites every day. So don't get lost in the noise. So let's talk about how we can create your subscribers list. So the first thing I want you to think is, please always quality over quantity. You can have a large number of subscribers, but if they do not interact with your content, it's counterproductive, right? You'll be thinking that I have, like, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 of subscribers. It will be putting pressure on you to get the content out, to send emails, and the opening rate will be very low. You click through performance will be very low. You get frustrated at some point and it will stop doing this. It's a little bit like a Facebook, right? It's better to have the followers that are really engaging with you, than just the followers that not even liking your post. I see a lot of clients saying, "Oh my God, I have so many followers. I put in such an interesting content outside the thing, and nobody even like it." So yeah, this is the problem with a big audience that are not really targeted, and when we are really chasing the quantity, over the quality. As I said, aim to have subscribers with great engagement and active interest in what you do, not only in your content, but in what you do. Okay, so as I said earlier, you can collect a lot of information for subscribers that will help you to analyze your audience, that will help you to create different audiences and use this audience. Just be careful, request really only necessary information for you, right? Because if you put a lot of fields to fill in on your form, they will just give up at some point. So why it's important? I will give you a really good example. There's a hotel in Wolfville, and she's pretty busy during the hot season, right? So in July and August, because it's Wolfville, it's wine tours, etc., etc. But she needs somehow to maintain her business during the off season. So she has some special brunches. She has some suppers on Fridays. So when we started first working with her for email list subscribers, she's like, "But I would like to send emails about my brunches and my supper club to the people who live in Nova Scotia, but I have no idea who lives in Nova Scotia." I said, "I cannot work with your actual list right now because I haven't created it. We haven't done it together. But from the new subscribers, what we did, we just added a little field on the form after please leave us your email, etc. Like, do you live in Nova Scotia? Yes or no. So if people check Nova Scotia, or I think she also worked differently with New Brunswick. So I think it was like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or other part of Canada. So like this right now, she can send her emails about the promotions to Nova Scotians that can come and visit her on off season as well as New Brunswick. So this is, now she has an audience that's called Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and other part of Canada. So like I said, it's very important to think about when you're going to set up your subscribers form, what kind of information you wanted to collect in order to be able to then target your potential clients, I would say, your subscribers, and also create different audiences. By the way, just by clicking this, it was very interesting for her to see how many people from Nova Scotia are actually interested in the hotel. And then she started creating some special packages for the Nova Scotians, like some Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, because she saw like 60% of her subscribers was from Nova Scotia. So she was like, "Oh my God, I have such a big business here to do because there's a lot of people from Nova Scotia that are interested in my hotel." Your subscriber list, when you build it, it's always need to be a permission-based subscription. Why? Because if you're sending email to somebody who hasn't requested it, it's invasion of their privacy. It will result in no or very low engagement, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys, you should receive at least 2 or 3 prospects, like promotional emails in your email box for somebody. "Oh my God, I'm this person from this. I can improve your website, or I can do this for you." I don't know like you, but I just got frustrated. I don't like these people. Like I really hate them because they're filling up my email box. And I think it's really rude. Like, I don't ask you to communicate with me. Why are you doing this? So imagine your clients, you don't want to have this image for your brand with your potential clients. Also, never buy the subscription lists, because it's not going to be unique to you, because they're just selling it. It's not targeted. It's not, there's no any analyze for the audience. It's just, they just got a list. They will send it to you. Think about that your competitors might buy exactly the same list, and it will damage your brand image. Like I said, if you send an email to the people that they don't want to hear from you, they will just end up by not hating you, but I don't do business with them at all. Because again, email marketing is a loyalty channel. It's not an acquisition channel. So, okay, I talked about negative, but how can I leverage, like how can I improve my subscribers list? So there's a couple of the really simple tips. And one of them, by use your existing clients database already, if you have one. Use your social media, as I said. If you post pretty frequently, don't hesitate to post, for example, just a promotional like subscribe to our email list and get updated on X, Y, Y. If you blogging on your website, you can also post your blog post on your Facebook or Instagram account and say to people, if you like it, don't hesitate to subscribe. Also, for sure, add a subscription page form on your web page. Why I put it in the bold? Because you cannot imagine how many clients I still have that doesn't have it. I mean, it's just a small window somewhere on your website. It can be in the footer, it can be in a header, it can be just on a home page. But it's just a very easy thing to do, and it will help you to grow your list. And you can also use the offline methods for sure, like it can be flyers, sign up sheets. If you have some, if you go to some events, just to gather email addresses. So always have like a little piece of paper, like, would you like to get updated about our new offers, etc. So please leave a message, please leave email, and just have a checkbox where they say, yes, I do agree to receive your email campaign. Also, sometimes I'm telling to the client, depending on your business, depending on how much of the content are you sending out, if it's possible, try to have a subscription link button at any point of the contact that you have with your clients. I do recall that one of my clients, she was only sending the email receipts, right? And at the end of her receipt, she was, have you liked what you experienced with us? Would you like to be updated of our next tours? Please leave your email. So she was just using literally the invoices and receipts to drive her subscribers. Okay, so also while you try to attract your subscribers and you tell them, please get to my subscribers list, think about to offer value, like promise of being the first to know about some new tools and services. It can also be a discount if it's like a fairly new client or somebody who arrives to your website for the first time. It's literally like e-commerce practices, right? Subscribe to our newsletter and get 10% off discount for your first tour with us. So you can do that. Like I said, initiative, give something in exchange. It can be a discount code, a free guide to Nova Scotia. If you post the guide to Nova Scotia and people want downloaded it, you can ask for a mail address. They can access exclusive deals. And you can also do the contest and giveaways, so a little bit like on the Facebook. You can ask people to subscribe to your email list, and then you will make a draw of somebody who will win something, right? So it's pretty simple, as you can see, and it works, trust me. Sorry. So we talked about targeting and we talked about analyzing your audience. As I said, segmenting your list will help you to send a tailored content. What we call the right message to the right person. So as I said, you can then target or have different audience based on demographics. It can be age, like I said, location. It can be language preferences, right? If you have a lot of tourists coming from one or another country, you can ask them, and if you for sure know how to speak this language, you can ask them to choose the language, right? So it will help you to send a more personalized contact. It can be also based on interest. I don't know, if you are a renting company, right, and you rent gear for, let's say, bikes, right? So you have like a normal bikes, mountain bikes, and electric bikes, right? Again, when you ask people to subscribe to your list, you can ask them, are you interested more in this, this, or that? And then you can create audience that are more interested in mountain hiking and mountain biking, and then you will provide them content about the places to to bike in Nova Scotia, etc., etc. And for sure, it can be a behavior. So it means on the past action, such as somebody who made a booking with you already or frequently open your email, you can also send them a personalized email. For example, for somebody who made a booking with you, you can send them the promotions or deals for another booking saying, okay, you liked your experience with us, X, but do you know that we have experience Y? And because we value your time or we value your interest in us, we are happy to offer you 10% of the deal or something like this. Okay, there was one other question about the regulations. I wanted to stop on it a little bit more. So like I said, it should be permission-based marketing. So there's a couple of the regulation that exist in Canada. It's Canadian anti-spam legislation. They have a similar one in the United States and a similar one in European Union. So like every country comply with this. What does it mean? Basically, it's that you have to have an explicit consent from the person before they send you email marketing. Like I said, subscribe to our list. If they fill in, I don't know, the booking form, you can ask them, would you like to receive an email from us? Like they put a checkbox, etc. Like you have, if I can say, physically, tangibly have something that says that they subscribe to your list, right? You also need to have an unsubscribe mechanism. It means that the people should be able to unsubscribe from your emails. Don't worry, you don't need to make it manually. Most of the platforms, they offer this automatically. So it's a little footer that says if you don't want to like to receive our mails, etc., unsubscribe. And most of the platforms, they will automatically deactivate these email addresses. So you don't need to go through it manually. It's also really highly advised to have identification information. So it means that you need to clearly identify yourself, like your organization in each email that you send. For example, a business name, a logo, a website, a content information, like people need to know that it comes from you. No misleading content for sure, no information that can deceive or, I don't know, upset your recipient, right? So it may be subject line, content, or sender information. I will talk a little bit more about subject line and words not to use in subject line in order to comply with regulation and not go to the spam. And for sure, privacy will respect their personal information. As I said, if you request a lot of additional questions or you ask a lot of additional questions during the subscription time, please remember that if for some reason you need to collect some personal information, you need to ensure that somebody you have written that you will respect their privacy, not going to send this information, etc. But better not to do that. Only if you really, really like, I don't know, if you reclaim a deposit or whatever, don't try not to collect the personal information at all. So this is a couple of regulations, like a big one. Again, depending on your niche market, depending on your geographically where the tourists come from, you might be willing to go and look at each country's regulation. But if most of your clients are from Canada and if you are adhering to this line, you should be good. Okay, so we talked about subscribers list, the regulation, the importance of email marketing. So basically what I do as an email marketing. So email marketing, it's a strategy like another one. And so it's not like I'm not inventing something from you. You need to set up your goals. When I said set up your goals, you need to know what is the objective. Why are you doing it? I know that we're all doing that to drive a revenue, but I wanted to drive revenue more to one services and not another one, or you just want to make people who just people know about you, you want to position yourself as an expert, etc. You need to set up your goals. You need to plan for sure, create your newsletter, deliver it, and analyze. So for the content, being honest, I'm always saying that it's not as difficult as we think. You can see what works on your social media, for example, what kind of content performs better than other. You can also use your website, see what kind of pages are visited more than other ones. And for sure, you can go and sneak out of your competitors or similar business and see what they do. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the strategy. I will emphasize again what it is important to have an email strategy, but for sure it will help you to communicate clearly and consistently. And when I'm saying this, is you will be able to maintain the brain tone of voice and message for sure. You will maintain the frequency of your emails. The frequency is as much important as the frequency for your social media. You can adjust for seasonality because you will be planning ahead, right? You will be able to keep subscribers' interest, and it will help you as well to create and generate the content. As everything else in marketing, consistency is the key, right? So here it's also a key for to build the loyalty, and so planning is really crucial, right? Another very important point, why having a strategy and having the dates you're going to send emails, like some kind of a planning, is by sending the regular emails, it will help you to clean your subscribers list, which will positively affect your delivery rate, because you might have less subscribers, but you will have a greater opening rate because you clean up the list of the people who never opens your email, or email addresses that doesn't exist anymore, or the people that unsubscribe. So there's a lot of advantages to have a strategy. Okay, sometimes the word strategy is, we're afraid of it because we think that it's something big and it's something scary and time consuming, but it is not. And I will try to tell you why. So the first thing, when we think about when to send email, right? So what is the best time to send it? So the optimal time is, you need to think, what is the best time for your potential client or your actual client to be open to see it. You need to consider your industry as well. I mean, if you are doing something for families, think about when the mother of 3 kids who doesn't know what to do on the weekend are going to say to herself, oh my God, weekend is coming, I need to plan something for my kids. Like I said, remember the target market as well, who is buying your services, when they're going to be most receptive to open your emails, and check the public calendar, right? So right now, according to Google and a couple of the softwares, they say that the best time to publish or to send your email campaign is midweek and midday, because it has a higher open rate, right? But again, you really need to look at the calendar, what is happening, who is your target market, like who is buying your services, and when you think they will be opening emails. And again, the more email campaigns you're going to send, the more your data you will have then, and it will help you to analyze and to understand if it's better to send it in the morning, it's better to send it in the evening, and I will talk about it a little bit later when we will be talking about metrics. But this is like the thing we're always looking into with my clients when we're building the marketing strategy. Okay, so how can I create an email that's not going to be lost in the noise? So first of all, know your audience. Like I said, personalization. Use the data you have about your subscribers. For example, a lot of platforms, they offer hello or dear, and you can input their name, so the system will be grabbing automatically their name. You can reference to their past bookings, like I said, you've enjoyed X tour with us. Like this, you can suggest another tours, right? Value-added content, for sure, informative, entertaining, that offers real benefits. Like, why would I read that? Why would I open it? For example, like I said, travel tips for Nova Scotia, exclusive discounts, or unique insights into local experiences. And for sure, balanced text and images. The balance of text and image makes your newsletter more engaging. And text should also resonate with the type of tourist you are targeting, and we will talk about it later. Okay, like I said about the images, or like for your website, it's very important that your size is between 600 to 800 pixels and not very big, like 200 KB is more than enough. And here I will give a big shout out to Tourism Nova Scotia. They have a barbershop.com. I don't know what are the what are your regulation guides to get access to it, but like almost all my clients they have access to it. Beautiful picture and tourism. This is what speaks to clients the most, especially with the three types of profile that comes to Nova Scotia, and we will talk about them, like with cultural explorers, authentic experience, or free spirits. They're really looking to the beautiful pictures. And also everybody's so used today to have a visual content. Think about YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think even Instagram and Facebook, the reels, they have a higher like viewing percentage than just the post. So tourism is about visuals. So if you don't have a possibility to have beautiful picture, or you don't have, I don't know, a camera, or not a very good smartphone, don't hesitate to go and grab these pictures. For sure, adhering to Tourism Nova Scotia rules of using it, but really think about have a quality picture. You cannot imagine how much time I spend sometimes just looking for the nice pictures. Sometimes it takes me like 3 to 4 hours just to go and find the good pictures for my clients, whereas we're working on some flyers on the website or Facebook campaign. It's always about the pictures. Also think about clear call to actions, especially like I said earlier, if you have a promotional campaign, if you want people do something, they need to clearly see it. So is it to book a trip? Is it to read a blog post? Is it to share content? But your call to action as on your website should be really pretty straightforward and visible. And for sure, responsive design. I mean, it's so obvious today, but you cannot imagine the number of emails I'm receiving, and I'm opening email campaigns, and I'm opening on my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a whole mess. So always check your mobile version. And again, most of the platforms, they have this possibility to switch between desktop version and mobile version to see how it looks like on the smartphones. Okay, so what I do with my clients basically is when we start working on it, we always create an email template that can be in Word file or whatever, and just a piece of paper, but we're always thinking about, okay, what will be the send date if we decided that it's once a month? Let's say we will send our newsletter every 15th of the month, so I will input 15th of July here. What will be my subject? So again, a catchy subject line is very important. Because you need to make it compelling, engaging, and personalize it. For example, Sarah, your next adventure awaits in Nova Scotia. Then you will have your introduction, your content footer, and text. And keep in mind what do you want to use as additional fields. It may be a link, updates, a promo, call to action, etc. So build this template for you. As I said, it shouldn't be this way. You can just outline the points like, okay, this is the structure, this is a plan, this is like a table of contents for my email, but this is what I'm going to stick to. If you decide to send various newsletters, like I said, either you're going to target different niche markets or you want to just have some informational, some promotional, create this template, as many templates as you're going to have types of newsletter. And what I also suggest is always have a couple of the templates ready to go. Why? Because once you are started doing email marketing, I mean, life happens, we can get overwhelmed, we can get sick, we can get whatever. Knowing that you have 2 or 3 templates or 2 or 3 like almost ready newsletter in advance will give you peace of mind. And trust me, it happens all the time. You can also create templates using a professional platform. So once you outline on a piece of paper, on the Word document your plan, don't forget or don't hesitate to go to your software and just create a template that will be easy to use. It will allow you also to have a consistent branding because you will adjust it right away to your colors, you will input your logo, etc. You can reuse it and tweak. You can also use the suggested templates. Every platform has at least 5 to 10 templates that they suggesting you. And what is great with them that they tend to adjust them to the calendar. So for St. Valentine's Day, they will always pop 3 to 4 templates for St. Valentine's Day, and Mother's Day, so Christmas and Easter, etc. Again, check the mobile version, please. And again, use as many templates for your newsletter according to the types of newsletter you want to send. Okay, so now we will go through some ideas that I put out. I tried to create some ideas for you guys to help you in order to create a content. So, for example, if you are in accommodation, I mean Airbnb, camping, hotels, etc., you need to highlight really what makes your place special. Why should I choose your hotel or your campground and not your competitor's one, right? And highlight the experience your guests can look forward to. So one of the topics that might be is showcasing your amenities. So you can share beautiful pictures, detailed description of your unique amenities. And again, as I said, I invite you strongly to go on the website of Tourism Nova Scotia, where they have a toolkit. If my memory is good, it's called Creating Experiences. And they have a sheet about every type of, or every profile, social-economical profile that was outlined by Destination Canada. So we have explorers, cultural explorers, authentic experience, and a free spirit. This is the 3 categories that comes the most in Nova Scotia. And they did a great job to summarize what kind of content they're looking for, what kind of picture you should do for them, etc., what their values, what their interests, what their habits, travel habits, how do they spend money, etc., So it's really relevant information for you guys. And this is how I created this this example. So for example, the cultural explorer, they might be interested in your on-site library or art collection, for example. Authentic experiencer would appreciate locally sourced in-room amenities. And like I said, one of my clients, she sourced locally all her soaps, shampoo, etc. So she was telling about, okay, I'm locally based on, etc., but I'm also supporting local businesses, right? And you can find some, extra soap made of the Nova Scotian Alps, I don't know, in your bathroom, right? Free spirits, for example, they would be intrigued by a rooftop bar or a pool or some nice location where can they drink wine, for example. It can be also the customer's testimonials. Again, please think about adjusting it to the profile. For example, cultural explorers, they will like a rich cultural experience that your guest had, or authentic experience that he might be willing to hear about local experience that might resonate with your potential client. There can be also local attraction for sure, so you can highlight the nearby attraction like museums, cultural events, or historical sites for cultural explorers, hidden gems, or some adventures for authentic experiencer, or thrilling activities or vibrant nightlife for free spirits, and for sure seasonal promotions. It can be discounts to stay during a cultural festival for cultural explorers, or special deals for outdoor adventurous activities for free spirits. So as I said, think about them. The next one that I thought will be interesting to see is the tool providers, because we have a lot of them in Nova Scotia, right? So think about that your email content can be more than just informative, right? You need to inspire people and create anticipation. Like, I don't know, oh, I really want to go kayaking with them. So I'm waiting till, I don't know, July, that water is more or less good and it's hot outside and I can do that. So you can create this anticipation that, oh my God, I want to do that when I can do that. So again, you can post something about the tour highlights. The cultural explorers, it can be at something that a tour that gives an in-depth understanding of local tradition, history, and culture. Authentic experience. They like to engage with the local environment and community. So you can display the hidden gems, local secrets, or some off-track experiences. And free spirit, for sure, you need to really highlight for them the adventure and how your tours provide an exciting, free-spirited adventure. You can also talk about customers review as well, whereas here you're going to approach it a little bit differently for accommodation. For example, authentic experience, they can leave a review about how did they connect with the locals and how it was interesting for them to hear the local stories. Free Spirit might be really talking about how this adventure thrilled them and what they have done, etc. And one of the most popular is behind the tours for sure. Here you can really bring a personal touch to your content, like you can tell about you guys, the story about you guys, their passion for work, their connection to the places, what made them special. For example, we work with tourism organization in Newfoundland and Labrador in French. So they're created this circuit by the locals that gives like a 2 or 3 day circuits by the locals where we have all this information about beautiful place, but we really talk about the person, why she likes this place, what are her connection with this place or this place or this place. So it's like created by real person, so it sounds less commercial because it's a person talking and not a company. And you can also give a sneak peek of the planning and organization that goes into creating each unique tour. The sneak peeks are always interesting, and it really helps to build the anticipation for the clients. We even practice this in marketing, like we're posting the half logo, half website saying it's coming, wait for it. You can also give so equipment rentals, right? So you can go to unique selling proposition because I mean literally you're renting something, so you're literally in the process of selling it, right? So don't hesitate to highlight your equipment and how it can enhance the tourist local experience, right? Equipment is just not a rental, it's an opportunity to have an unforgettable experiences. So you can share expert trips, right? So best place to kayak or best trails for hiking or biking. Again, ensure that you talk to your audience. So cultural explorers, they might like more something about scenic routes, and historical cultural sites. Authentic experiences, they will go to less crowded sports where you can more enjoy authentic and peaceful experiences. And free spirits, for example, they would like some thrilling activities, like, for example, I don't know, there's like a place for more challenging kayak and not just be tranquil here, but doing something more interesting. And you can also showcase your equipment for sure, high quality, for description, how this particular equipment is going to enhance and transform their experience. As I said, you're not selling a product, you're not selling a gear, you're selling an experience that they're gonna have with your gears. And as a tour provider, for sure, seasonal offers. I see that it's 11. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I also put out some content ideas for restaurants, right? So we know that dining is a huge thing here in Nova Scotia because we are so lucky to have all these beautiful lobsters and greens and wine and beer and all the spirits, right? So you can talk about menu highlights, right? And it's locally served, that there's some historical and cultural significance in your menu, that this is a unique cuisine, for example. Again, you have to have, like I said, mouth-watering images. You can talk about chief profiles as well, highlight their story, their philosophy, their experience to create this attachment. And you can also talk about your dining experience, right? It's about ambience and their overall experience. So you can talk about cozy, homey vibe spaces you have, or you can talk about the live music or something like this, but sell it as an experience as well. So now I give you all the ideas, and if you want, you can practice at your office a little exercise. Like you have this first idea sheet, so you have basically 20 cases. You have one theme, for example, number one, and take 3 minutes to find 5 content ideas for each theme, for example. So you take this, and in 15 minutes, you have almost 20 content ideas. So this is an exercise that I do with my clients frequently. So right now, what we do, so like what are the tactics for your email not to go to the spam? So in industry, we consider that 50% is considered the exceptional opening rate, 20 to 30 is considered as a good, and 10 as they might have been flagged as spam content. Being honest, this is the statistics that average you really need to see on your end. I think like if it's 10 to 15, it's already good, depending on how big your database is and what kind of services you provide. Like I said, subject line, be very careful with the subject line. You can Google the words not to use in your subject line, but for example, that's some word of like free, buy, purchase, cash, save up, discount, bonus, credit, loans, like urgent, like access to the deals. Avoid these words because it's going to be flagged as a spam, and don't have a text-heavy content and lack of clickable links. The anti-spam programs is a little bit like the algorithm as works the same as Google. They're private because we want hackers and anti-spammers not to go through it, but it takes into account your opening rate, your subject line, and I will talk about it. There's like a couple of other things. I think people can tell that they don't want to receive it and still receive it. So, but subject line, it's really important. Why the good practice is not to go to spam is for sure have an organic subscriber list on Vibe, clickable content, as I said, fulfilling your subscribers' expectation. If you tell about the tours, talk about tours, don't talk about anything else. Cleaning your list, as I said, and avoiding spammy words and phrases. Let's talk about metrics. So one of the metrics is opening rate, for sure, the most important one. And this one of the indicators that anti-spam filters are reading as well. If you have a really poor opening rate, please work on it because this is the red flag, the first one for anti-spam programs. The bounce rate, that means that you're sending emails to the email addresses that doesn't exist. Again, it's a platform filters and the click-through, right? If I said you have a lot of text and no clickable links or whatsoever, they will flag it as well as a spam. Okay, campaign performance. What are you looking for? As for sure, click-through rate. So if you have some links, look at if people are really clicking on it. Opening rate and sales. As I said, negative indicators is bounce rates and complaints. Yeah, complaints. So some of the software, they have this possibility for the people to complain, not to unsubscribe, but complain saying, okay, I've never received it. I never asked them to send me email, etc., etc. So be careful with that, but from my point, you just need to look to click-through, open rate, and sales, and read these indicators. The tips: analyze the trends you get in the results. So it's really a data-driven decision, and I think TNS on this platform, Digi4, they have a video about the data-driven decision. Compare with the trends on social media, on your website statistics. Try to understand what works, what doesn't work. And also compare always desktop and mobile analytics. It's very relevant because we've noticed from one of my clients that most of the people were opening their emails on mobile. So we said to ourselves, okay, they're not doing it at work, they're probably doing it in the evening or in the morning. So it helped us to adjust the sending time. And once I think we adjusted to 8 p.m. in the evening, their opening rate went up. Okay, I don't know, Nick, if I still have time, but I pulled out some examples of a good newsletter and a bad one. So a good one will be with a good subject line, like your monthly guide to Nova Scotia, hidden day in June 2023. You will personalize your greeting, dear Mariia, welcome to your monthly exploration guide. You will have some sections like June's Cantonese events, Nova Scotia secret trails, culinary delights, seafood specials for the season. Each section will have some clickable links and some pictures. You will have a clear call to action, for example, plan your adventure now. That will probably lead to one of your booking page. You will also encourage the sharing, always have the sharing icons like Facebook, Instagram, and the design that are clean and consistent. Whereas a bad example will be subject stuff to do, no personalized greeting, you will have a lot of text, no picture, or a generic or low quality pictures, you will have no call to action, The newsletter will not encourage any sharing, and the design will be inconsistent, etc., etc. Be careful when you copy and paste from somewhere. Just check, because sometimes it gives a different fonts and sizes of the fonts. And the last one, I will skip because we talk about it, and I will just quickly talk about the platform. So basically, I'm always telling to the client to use the email marketing that integrated with their website builder. Most of them, they have email marketing model, and it allows you to keep everything under the same roof, as I said, without going through different platforms. It also gives you the live statistics, and it also cross-reference the statistics. For example, in Occurrence, most of my clients are on Wix, and when we sell a campaign through a Wix email marketing campaign, and we're trying to sell something, it automatically adds us one of the metric is sales. So we can literally see how many sales we generated from this particular campaign. So I'm always telling, whatever you build your site on, go and check if you have an email marketing model in it and use it, because it's convenient, it keeps everything under the same platform, and it communicates with your website. However, if you don't want to do that, you have MailChimp, which is probably the best and well-known, very user-friendly interface, have pre-designed template, easy email builder, and they have a lot of automations. Constant content, it's a core marketing feature, sorry. It offers some additional features like social media sharing tools, whereas we does have them as well. And it's more or less a comprehensive digital marketing solution. You have Bravo, which is probably the same as MailChimp and Constant, but apparently they're better for their automation features. Like I said, your web design platform and Canva. I don't really like Canva because it can create a beautiful emails, but it's difficult to track, right? So you send it like a link or a digital file, so you can only see like you don't see the source then in your web statistics where it came from. So I never use Canva. I know that some people do that, but my expert advice to you will be go with your web design platform and look if they have a marketing solutions and use them. It will be the easiest thing for you guys. Thank you so much. I took a little bit more of the time that needed, but I really wanted to present you the content ideas, and I think it was important for you to give you some ideas.
Thanks, Maria. We had a quick question from Stephanie Miller. What are your thoughts on changing email platforms? If we start with MailChimp, should we stick with MailChimp? Is there a disadvantage to switching to a new platform?
No, if you started with MailChimp and you're happy with it, stay with it. I mean, it's a really good platform. It's just that it's only the platform for the email marketing. But no, it's a good one.
But it's like, let's say they were looking to switch. Is there any disadvantages? Like contact lists or things like that?
No, you're not gonna lose your contact list, because it was basically exported from the MailChimp and imported it into your new platform. And I mean, it's just learning the new platform. For me, the only disadvantage that you can have is learning a new platform, and it depends on how you take savvy or not. But they're like, for me, but because I'm a very positive person, I never see the obstacles. I only see the solution. We already switched a couple of the clients from MailChimp to Wix or to Square email marketing solution. It's just probably, like I said, learning the new platform, and sometimes it might be time consuming because you literally have time to do it. Is there any other questions?
I was just going to encourage anyone with a question. So Corey said, so Stephanie said, will your bounce spam rate increase if you switch?
Yes and no. I mean, your bounce rate, normally the bounce rate is the email that doesn't long exist or not a good spelling or whatever. It might be go to the spam because you're using the new platform, but if you're not using the cheapest version of it, the use should be good. I mean, my clients, haven't experienced that. So I haven't heard from them that their bounce rate increased when we switch from one platform to another.
Okay, and don't forget, I believe Playground is available for the one-on-ones through Digiport. So if you want to book a one-on-one, it's free to the person that signs up. So that's another option if you want to book Mariia and Playground to discuss further. Corey wanted to know, can you go through again why you would not recommend Canva?
So basically, Canva is you generating a digital file. It's like you're going to share a link, right, or PDF file. It will be still clickable and everything else. So I don't like it because people will be clicking, and in your statistics and your web statistics, you're not going to see if they really came from your email campaign. You see what I mean? Whereas if you're using the platform that integrated with your website builder or whatever, you're going to be able to really who from this email campaign clicked on what link when they open it. They sometimes it even give you the time when they open it and if you generate any sales of it or not. It's just giving you more in-depth statistics. But if you're comfortable with Canva, go with Canva.
Oh, we have.
And Canva is not designed as a newsletter tool, right? It's just a designer tool. It's like I will be sending a newsletter with Adobe or Figma or whatever. It's not the core purpose of Canva is not newsletter, not email marketing.
So could you create that in Canva and then include it with your MailChimp?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Never done this, so I'm not gonna tell you yes or no, but I think it's possible. Yeah.
We have one question. If you're just starting, would using your past customers' emails be the way to start?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. If we don't have any other questions, again, I would encourage everyone that's interested to find out more to maybe book a one-on-one with Playground. It's a good opportunity. And I will just take back over the screen here. And thank you so much, Mariia.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You as well. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. A lot of really great information. And we have our last webinar in our spring tune-up series is going to be Thursday, June 29th. So it's next Thursday at 10. How to use Google Ads to promote your business. It's presented by Liam Taylor from SME Solutions. And it is kind of building off the one previously available from Google. So I would go and review that. That's only available for 30 days from the date we had it. So I would encourage you to do that. All of our webinars in the past are available at tourismns.ca/webinar-series. We will have no webinars in July and August, and we will start them again in September. So we have our expert travel trade program that's available and open until September 30th or until all the spaces are filled up. And it's an opportunity to get one-on-one coaching through the export travel trade program. You can develop partnerships with tour operators and travel agents so you can attract more national and international customers. If that's something that you're interested in, check out that link or send Peter Johnson an email at TourismNS. We'd really encourage you to stay connected with us. So we have our TNS business at novascotia.ca. So if you have any suggestions or feedback on the webinars, please send it through there. Our corporate website is tourismns.ca, and our consumer websites or our consumer facing where we send everyone with our call to action in our marketing is novascotia.com. Our news and resources where you would find out about programming, webinars, anything relevant to you or industry. You can sign up for that at tourismns.ca/news-resources. For Twitter, we're TourismNS, and for corporate LinkedIn, we are Tourism Nova Scotia. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.